No one forced you into this life, yet every choice you think you made was already decided for you. The system doesn't want your freedom. It wants your time, your energy, and it wants you tired. Watch closely, because the moment you realize this, nothing will ever feel the same again. The system does not require violence. It relies on routine. Once survival depends on cooperation, resistance begins to feel irresponsible. You are not restrained by threat. You are guided by necessity. And necessity is the most obedient master there is. By the time doubt appears, you are already invested in maintaining what confines you, not because it serves you, but because leaving it feels risky. That risk was calculated. Before you learned ambition, you learned permission. You were rewarded for compliance, praised for following paths you did not design, and corrected the moment curiosity disrupted order. Structure was presented as safety. Authority was framed as wisdom. Schedules trained your body. Evaluation trained your self-worth. Approval trained your silence. Gradually, obedience stopped feeling imposed and began to feel like identity. You were not encouraged to understand systems. You were taught how to function inside them. And once conformity becomes character, questioning feels like defect. Then came the promise: work hard, stay disciplined, endure. Effort was offered as assurance, not because it leads to freedom, but because it keeps people occupied. Work was moralized. Exhaustion was praised. Rest became suspicious. Yet dignity disappears the moment it becomes expensive. Those who benefit from your labor do not admire your sacrifice. They depend on it. Hard work is applauded only while it remains harmless. The moment it seeks influence, it is redirected. The system does not reward contribution. It rewards alignment. Fatigue is not evidence of worth. It is proof of placement. If labor alone produced power, the most powerful would be the most depleted. They are not. They are distant. They are insulated. They are positioned. The people who gain the most are rarely visible within the structure itself. They do not compete loudly. They do not prove themselves publicly. They do not rush. They designed locations that effort cannot access. While others are taught to climb, they remain outside the ladder entirely. You are encouraged to admire outcomes, never to examine access. Visibility is reserved for those seeking recognition. Control belongs to those who never need it. Their advantage feels natural because it is structural. That illusion protects them better than force ever could. Compliance, however, is not sustained by logic. It is sustained by emotion. Fear of instability keeps people loyal. Shame keeps them quiet. Comparison keeps them distracted. Struggle is framed as personal failure, so it is never recognized as structural design. When you fall behind, you internalize blame. When others advance, you assume superiority. This prevents unity. Competition is introduced precisely where cooperation would become dangerous. Burnout becomes routine. Stillness becomes guilt. A tired mind does not seek truth. It seeks relief, and relief is easy to manage. This is why awareness is treated as threat. Awareness alters behavior before it alters circumstance. A person who understands incentive no longer reacts predictably. They pause. They observe. They choose selectively. The system does not fear anger. Anger is loud and temporary. It fears clarity. Clarity removes mystique from authority. Patterns replace illusion. Momentum breaks. A population that knows when not to participate cannot be easily directed. That is why curiosity is reframed as negativity. Why silence is rewarded over insight. Why speed is encouraged over thought. Once you see the structure, emotion becomes inefficient. Power is not built through reaction. It is built through timing. Those who move loudly invite resistance. Those who move slowly gather leverage. Strategy begins when visibility stops being the goal. Observation replaces urgency. Distance replaces exhaustion. This is not escape. It is repositioning. Nothing valuable announces itself. Study patterns before challenging them. Understand incentives before opposing them. Silence collects information faster than confrontation ever will. Every system exposes its weaknesses to those patient enough to watch. The most dangerous individuals are not aggressive. They are unreadable. When intention is concealed, control returns. When validation is no longer required, autonomy follows. Not everyone will recognize this moment. Some will feel irritation. Others will feel discomfort without explanation. That response is the separation. Awareness does not demand immediate action. It demands discernment. You do not need to abandon the system to outgrow it. You only need to stop allowing it to define you. Once perception shifts, obedience weakens naturally. From that moment forward, you are no longer moving blindly, and that alone changes everything. The system survives because most people never question their role within it. You just did. If you want to continue understanding how power truly operates, not how it is advertised, subscribe. Not for motivation, not for reassurance, for clarity. Because once you understand the game, you are no longer required to play it the same way.